Good evening, everybody, and welcome back, Spartan Nation Radio. I'm going to do something tonight that I normally do not do on this show. Normally, I will bring on guests and I'll ask them questions and everything else. But with Michigan State at 4-4 and the program seemingly spiraling out of control, and I believe it is, this is still an Illinois team. They have all the talent in the world to beat. They had the talent to beat Penn State. This is resting on coaching, players in the portal, Bocce's out the rest of the year, and this program's in trouble. And this segment is called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly with Spartan Football. And we bring in the legendary State of Michigan high school football and basketball prep coach, Chuck Grenier, and we go over it every week. And Coach, this week's going to be very little Hondo and a lot of Coach. So, Coach Grenier, I ask you, what is the good, bad, and ugly with Spartan football?
Well, you had an off week, and you didn't play a game, and it still got bad with the situation with Joe Bocce. The heart and soul of the defense, the bright side of Spartan football this year, and basically the heart and soul is now not with the team physically any longer. I don't know with Spartan football. We've got this continual argument, debate going on. Is this coach's last year? Will he get, if he does go, who's going to take his place? If he stays, will he get rid of coaches and bring in some fresh blood and fresh ideas? How will the recruiting go for the rest of the year? I mean, it's just a good, bad, ugly. It just doesn't seem to be too much good out there right now with Spartan football. So I just don't know. The program is in flux, I believe. I think you're exactly right. It's spiraling out of control. It just seems we can't even not have a game and still not get bad news. So the situation in Spartan football right now is really, really bad. It appears to me, and I think, and what I'm reading on the board too, there's a lot of people that are concerned that something drastic has to change. If that is coach retiring, he won't get fired, of course. He's earned the right to be here and make the decisions, even though it doesn't seem like it's going well right now. If he's going to go, who's going to come in? Will it be somebody familiar? Will it be somebody totally new? I would be happy with somebody that's familiar, to tell you the truth, a Narduzzi or maybe somebody with great Ohio ties like Luke Fickle, something along that line. But the program is really pretty much, I think, what the people in the alumni base and the fan base are saying right now is, let's get out of this and let's get to basketball.
That's sad, isn't it, Coach?
Well, it's sad. It's part of the reality. Coaches are hired to be fired or to retire or whatever. But, it's sad. We had so much promise coming into this season, and we had talked numerous times that, if this offense could just be an average offense, just average is all it had to be with the defense that we have, that 9 games, 10 games was not out of the question. 11 games maybe even out of it. And we had to go through Columbus in order to get to the championship game. That was all the hype coming into the season. Things looked really good. There was some good reports coming out of camp. And from the very first game, the offense just didn't respond properly. I watch other teams. I watch teams like University of Michigan. And I know I've said this before, but I look at what they do with a blocking scheme, and it's just so simple sometimes, and it's just so much easier. And it just seems that our blocking schemes just don't seem to work with the kind of players we have, or work with the talent that we have, or the offensive plays that we run. Either look at a Wisconsin, look at how many changes that Ohio State goes through in the last couple of years, how they bragged about, well, we changed this and we changed that, and we just seem to stay pat no matter what, if it's working or not. So it is a sad situation.
We're talking with Coach Chuck Grenier, the good, the bad, and the ugly with Spartan football. I have reported for months, and you know I took a ton of criticism for reporting this, that I expected that the feeling inside the university was that Mark D'Antonio was going to retire.
Mm-hmm.
I've reported it for months. I'm going to say this, and I want you to give me your opinion. If I think he is going to go, but if Mark D'Antonio chooses to stay, which is still his choice, we haven't reported that it's factual he's leaving. We've simply reported that's the feel inside the university. If Mark D'Antonio says, I'm staying and I'm not going to fire any coaches, should he be fired before he gets his bonus?
Well, I would think so. I think I read a report in the newspaper that Michigan State had returned most of their tickets to the Michigan game back to Michigan so Michigan could sell them. And I'm thinking at that point, the fan base is so upset that the major rivalry game that we have against Michigan, the fan base does not even want to show up for that game. And I'm thinking, if he decides to come back, if he's going to stay and he's going to stay pat with his coaching staff as it is, primarily the offensive side, I think someone has got to step forward in the administration and say, hey, this is what's going to happen. If you're staying, they're leaving. And get somebody in here with some fresh ideas, get some positive feelings from the fan base, from the alumni, to the donors. If you're staying, this has got to happen. And if you don't do it, then we're going to say goodbye to you. We got to get something changed around here. We got to get something fresh. We got to get some optimism into this program.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want the truth. I said this summer that Mark D'Antonio, although I disagreed with his decision not to fire any offensive coaches, had earned the right to do what he wanted because of what he's accomplished. If he says I'm staying and I am not going to fire anyone, I'm looking for a definitive answer for you. Should Michigan State fire him prior to his bonus?
Well, yeah, exactly. That should be done. I think that's kind of, in a way, what I was saying. If he's going to stay pat, and the argument is that it's not getting proper coaching from the offensive side, and you can see that. I think they're number 13 in the conference or something. And he doesn't want to change anything, then yeah, he's got to go. Fire him.
Okay. Coach, I also said something this week that made a lot of people angry at me. That's nothing new. But I made the comment that Mark D'Antonio should be respected and people should not make this personal. And I don't believe that they should, by the way. But I also said that he has been highly compensated. He was not a volunteer here. And I said, so because of that reason, people need to also, there's nothing wrong with holding him accountable. Do you agree or disagree with me?
Well, going back to that question again about the firing, and that this is a business. And this business is to produce a product on the field that is going to be representative of the university, and it's going to be a core program out there, and that the object is to go out and win games. And if he's not producing that as a business, this is not personal. This is just business. And we've complained about this in the past, too. I know we've talked about it on this program, that this is a business. It's not personal. And that the letting go of coaches would not be personal. It would be business. They're professional coaches. They'll land a job somewhere else. But if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do in this business, it's not a club. It's a business. And if he doesn't get that handled, that money, the millions of dollars in the alumni that is donating, the donors, is drying up. The university, the athletic program cannot afford that. It's a business. If he doesn't conduct business correctly, then someone else has got to be in there.
Well, he's the one and only, the great Coach Chuck Grenier. Don't come any better than him. We'll be back.